Hey, sorry for the interruption, but we wanted to let you know that this week's episode is brought to you by Spotify for Podcasters. Really cool app. Josiah and I use it for every single show that we bring to you every week. You can edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so you can start creating as soon as you log into the platform. You can easily distribute your podcasts to Spotify and everywhere else the podcasts are heard, just like we do every single week. You can also create video podcasts on Spotify, which is really cool. And of course, you can earn money like I'm doing right now by including ads and even podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free. There's no catch. We really love it. We use it every single week. So we encourage you to go download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. All right, let's get back to the show.
Radical! Welcome to this week's episode of the Print on Demand Cast. Each week, join the gnarly Travis and Josiah as they provide insight into the print on demand industry and equip you with the totally tubular tools, advice, and strategies you need to achieve success and hopefully have a few laughs along the way. Now on to this week's Totally Tubular show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Print on Demand Cast in person, not at a restaurant. In fact, in my house.
Impressive.
It's a makeshift studio in my almost studio apartment. There's more than one, but it's not an open floor. See, that's technically,
it's not studio,
but we're not going to get into it. But we're here. It is Saturday night. This is what we do with our Saturday nights, in case you guys are wondering. When we're not in Long Beach, apparently we just record.
We do other things in Long Beach on Saturday nights.
That's true. That's true. We had Jersey Mike's. Anyway, we are here. A brand new episode coming to you guys. Really excited. It's a little more comfortable setup. We got a couch and there's less noise and less ambience. There's more dogs.
More dogs. There's a dog. Yep.
It's Maisie here. One Shih Tzu, the other Shih Tzu's in the corner, protesting because I'm in his favorite spot. So he keeps looking at me like, you got to move, man. But I'm not going to. So, but Travis, we're here. It's the end. Typically, we record at the beginning of a week. We're recording at the very end of this given week. We don't know when this episode will air. Right. But how was your week? Usually it's like, how was your Monday and your weekend? But how was your week?
Yeah, it was fine. Getting ready to go out of town for our 25th. Mm-hmm. That's kind of why we're recording this. We've got a couple other recording sessions that we're going to be doing over the next few days, just trying to kind of get ready because I'm leaving town, and then like in a few weeks after that, you're leaving town. Yeah. So just for the business, I'm kind of, again, getting ready to go out of town. I've been focusing a lot on the Print on Demand Cast website. And making sure kind of links are good and trying to figure out some blog things. And then on the business side, things have really slowed down. Although we did have a really cool conversation with somebody who wants to onboard that seems to be, doing some decent volume. So that'll be cool. That'll be nice. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I think there's still some things to be kind of finalized. And ironed out. But that's hopeful. I think I have a list of my to-do list now have two different kind of sections. There's the Make Your Mark Design to-do list, and then there's the Print on Demand Cast to-do list. So I got some things accomplished, but it's still, those to-do lists are pretty long. They grow. Yeah, we're doing a couple new projects with some stuff on in Make Your Mark Design that I'm trying to create SOPs for and help people understand, help my VAs understand kind of what we're looking at doing. And I'm heading those up. Tate's doing some other stuff. And we're taking advantage of the slow season, and we're staying busy as a result of it. Sure. What about you?
Good. Week was good. Just worked. I can't really think of much of anything eventful. But just another week, trying to save the world one car insurance policy at a time. But that's pretty much been My week and weekend's been also equally as chill, which is nice. You're getting ready, like you said, leave to Hawaii, but before you go, you'll be able to watch the Super Bowl. In fact, the day before.
Yes, I will.
Is this what number is this? It's like I don't read Roman numerals.
54, 55?
54? Sure. Okay, 55. I was thinking today, I saw something.
72?
That's all the same. Why put a number to it, honestly? I saw this thing on Facebook that was detailing how Prince's halftime show was one of the greater halftime shows that there was, right? And I was like, man, we always talk about bonus episodes. In fact, I texted you and said, hey, we should do a bonus episode tonight and do a watch-along to the worst movie I've ever seen in my life called Downsizing, which would only be worth it if we were able to make fun of it and record it for posterity's sake for the audience. But talking about, like, breaking down Super Bowl halftime shows. But then I realized, like, I don't remember. I don't watch every halftime show. But we could. I mean, it could have been fun. I don't know. But Prince's was one of the great good ones, and this year I think it's Rihanna. I don't know, not that that matters. Yeah. But looking forward to that as well. I'm looking forward to getting into our topic for today. Again, we don't know when this is airing, but we're probably anticipating that it's going to be in breaking up some of the interviews with folks that we got from ISS. Yeah. Which to that point, for those of you listening. If you guys would prefer more interviews, let us know. If you like this format, let us know. Because we obviously want to tailor the content to what you guys want to hear. And so if a more interview style is something that you guys enjoy, let us know. Comment. You can go to the Facebook group, printondemandcast.com/Facebook, and let us know if that's something you would like to do. So, but today, we've got a good point of interest, a good main event, and I'm excited to get into it. So, let's get into this week's point of interest. I don't know why I just had a brain grab.
I know you did.
I can't hear it. I don't know what's going to happen.
Here it comes. So do it.
There's that the point of interest. That's probably way off. I can't hear anything. Usually we wear headphones and I can kind of something like that. I don't know. That's probably terrible. But Travis, what do we have this week for the point of interest?
Well, we were kind of just trying to, every week it's kind of like this when we have a point of interest. It's like, what is actually interesting in the print-on-demand world? And so
it's not self-serving because we think everything we're doing here is interesting, but we don't want to bombard you guys with that.
Right, exactly. And so sometimes it's easier than others. Sometimes there is actually something coming down the pike, from postage
last
increase.
Week we talked about color reel. That whole thing. That's
we actually talked about our new printondemandcast.com website.
Yeah, but in the main event,
you should all go and subscribe
That's true. Go check it out. But we talked about in the main event about color reel, which
would have made a
great point of interest, but we cannibalized it. We couldn't hit it again.
So this week we just found a couple of cool new products or newer products on Printify. And I think we're just going to go with that.
Yeah,
so
let's talk about it.
A couple of cool things. You may have already seen. If you're selling on Printify, you may have already seen this stuff. This is kind of old hat. But the first one we found, dog hoodies, which I feel like you could be in the market for that.
I could. My dog's barking at me right now because she wants on the couch. What? Come on. She wants to be in the show. We're talking about dog hoodies. But yeah, I could be in the market for it. In fact, I was always adamant that I would never be that person that bought articles of clothing for my dogs. And then Madeline came home with a sweater for Ollie.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, he looked dapper, I got to say. He looked real handsome in that thing. So now it's like they each have a winter, like a Christmas sweater that they wear around the holidays and stuff like that. I haven't really come around to shoes yet. My sister buys shoes for her dog.
Please don't. But I think what you're revealing here is just, and I think we all know this, like pets they have just exploded in how much money people spend on pets.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's really no regard. We talk about, some of the markets that people don't really think about prices. Obviously, weddings, people don't think about how much they're going to spend. Graduation, that party, those kind of parties, because it's such a milestone event. But pets, I think, would probably be in that same kind of like category of like reckless spending habits
because a dog doesn't need a hoodie. Is what you're saying.
Dog doesn't. They've got hair. They've got fur. You know what I mean? But so I mean they're offering this, which is to that point probably why Printify is like we need to roll out some pet stuff.
Yeah,
because it's huge. So they're 100% polyester. Available in 5 different sizes, probably from Shih Tzu to like Doberman or Great Dane or something, I'd imagine. And then black and white rib color options, sub or DTG, because they're doing a black, so they can't obviously be sub.
I think they say that they're 100% polyester, but I don't know if that's like the white one's 100% polyester and the black one's 100% cotton, and they're DTGing
and it's ribbed.
The black one, and then the white one they're subbing. And if it's ribbed, you're gonna.
That's hard.
I don't know.
They're wizards.
They must
over there
be.
Printify, because but so you can get them from anywhere from like $19.40 somewhere in that area. And again, if you're using them to fulfill for you, you can probably charge more than that for a hoodie for a dog.
Well, you probably would charge more for that.
$19.41
if you have an actual business and have desires to keep that business open. Yeah. Well,
my point was, at that price point, don't be like, well, I can't make any money. I mean, no, you could probably charge $30-$40 for a dog hoodie and still be plenty fine. Don't do the 1941 idea. That was terrible.
Yeah, and you can head over to Printify and look in their new arrival section. And to be fair, the pictures are adorable.
Yeah.
Because it's a dog.
It's a dog.
Yeah.
And that's what sells. And so, what is this date right now? Mark your calendars. Whenever you're listening to this, a place that's going to have dog mock-ups, I'm sure if they don't already, they're going to have dog mock-ups. But I mean, to that point, dog hoodies, even like the bandanas that people will give their dogs, put around their neck, another good idea. That's just one of them. The second one, skinny steel tumbler with straw. Yeah. Skinny tumbler. They're all the rage right now. I mean, okay, so I think I saw my wife had one. My wife has this thing.
I imagine that she would have one.
My wife has this thing that she has her water bottle for like general use and a water bottle that can fit in her purse when she has to go into places that maybe don't allow water bottles. And so she uses that water bottle into movie theaters when she doesn't want to be carrying a big water bottle.
And when she wants to put vodka in the water bottle. I get it.
No, that's what we would do with a skinny tumbler. But she legit just uses water. I saw it today. In fact, I think it's sitting right on that shelf. You see that by the door? Yeah.
There's 2 of them.
There's the one to the left is her skin. And I looked at this and I said, it's so impractical. Like, I would drink this so fast. Like, just water. I drink quickly. Backstory, I drink quickly.
She does.
And
he
so,
does.
And so I don't understand. But I guess they're all the rage, and I didn't know that until you brought it up.
We actually sell these at Make Your Mark Design.
Okay.
And you can fully sublimate them because they're 100%, they're polyester coated. And so you can sublimate them, and that's how you decorate them. And they look great. You can do a full wrap all the way around.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You can do a full wrap actually in a clamshell press. You just have to spin it halfway through or turn it a little bit. So you open it halfway through and you turn it, shut it again. It's pretty cool. So they start from around $16.90, so $17.
Yeah.
That's real close to right around the same price we charge at Make 'em Our Design.
So what he's saying is just reach out to them.
Yeah, just sell them
you can talk to Travis, okay? Actually have a conversation and then sell the tumbler for roughly the same price.
Yeah, they're very popular right now, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners are probably already selling them. So this is not news to them, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Probably not.
But it's still interesting.
Yeah. And so the third one that they're also rolling out, the new item, pajama pants. And listen, every Christmas, I've
seen the pictures.
My mother-in-law gets us matching pajamas. My sister gets everybody matching pajamas. So pajama pants, if anything else, a Q4 honey hole of just coming out with all matching sets of pajama pants, or matching it, maybe matching it with a shirt or something. I don't really know, how custom you can go with these types of things.
They also have long sleeve all over
That's
prints.
Right. That's
so
right.
It's the same thing. These these pajama pants are all over printed.
Yep.
So they are, again, 100% polyester. So pajama pants that are 100% polyester, I don't know about the comfort level. I prefer cotton pajama pants.
Yeah.
But, still, if you can like put your face on these pajama pants, that
all
kind
over.
of, all over the pajama pants. I mean, that kind of makes up for the not being cotton thing. But they do have them for youth, women, and men. And so the kids start at like 23.13. Women's and men's sizes start at 27.61. So you're going to have to charge, $40-$50.
Yeah.
However, these are custom. You can do custom with these things. And so people will pay, I would imagine they'd pay $60-$70.
Oh, yeah.
To customize these pajama pants.
Yeah, for sure. So there you go. Those are the 3 items that are rolling out in Printify that are new. And take advantage of them if you have them fulfilling for you, or take a look at them and see, if that's something you want to add to your collection. So, and that'll do it for this week's point of interest.
All right, so we're going to move right into the main event. So here we go, Josiah, and go.
I can't hear the music. Main event.
There it was.
There it is. Boom.
Nice transition.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so this week's main event, we've been talking about, and we've talked about this before, I think, kind of touched on some things about listings in general. But today we want to talk about tips for creating great listings on Etsy, Amazon, and Shopify. Because those, I feel like that would probably cover a good range of people. It seems like based on the numbers that we see from any time we put the word Etsy in a title for our show,
it's big.
Those numbers are much larger. So that just tells us that you listening are probably selling on Etsy. You want to know more about Etsy because it kind of seems like, and we've talked about this, it's an easier barrier of entry into opening a store and having a print-on-demand brand or shop. So, so the first one, Travis, we're going to talk about SEO, which simply stands for Search Engine Optimization. Yeah. But beyond what those letters stand for, what is SEO?
Well, I think most of our listeners would probably know what SEO is. It's basically the way that algorithms, be it Google or Amazon has an algorithm, Etsy has an algorithm. So whatever search kind of platform you're on, because Etsy is a search engine for their products, Amazon is a search engine for their products, Google is a search engine for web pages. SEO is going to be what that algorithm is using or ranking your website or product based off of. And the better your optimization, your search engine optimization, the higher up you theoretically will go in those search rankings. So what we're going to touch on today in SEO, and then we're going to touch on one other thing that will help you with your listings. But I think SEO is probably one of the most important, if not the most important parts of your listing, because like we said, they're all algorithms. They're all search algorithms. And so what are you telling that search algorithm about your product or your page or your Shopify store or whatever? So that's kind of what it is. So the next question is, where do you use SEO? Where do you use it?
Yeah. So obviously one of the first things is titles. And this is something too that we think about when we even title episodes of this show. Right. Because just like Amazon and Etsy and Shopify, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, all of those have their own algorithms. Right. All of those, which is why they're they're all search engines. Which is why we always ask you guys and encourage you guys to leave reviews and to comment, on what's going on, because that helps. It's one thing that helps boost the algorithms outside of SEO. But titles is definitely one of the things that you can use those kind of keywords in your titles to help the search engines rank that product and tell people, oh, you're looking for a coffee mug about being a nurse or being a baseball player or whatever.
Yeah.
Look at this one, and it's all based on partially what you put in your titles.
Yeah, it's the difference between what they're searching for and what's in your titles. But titles really, on all of these platforms, they're probably the main thing.
Yeah.
So if you... The whole idea is to kind of backwards or go backwards with this thing.
Reverse engineer kind of thing?
Reverse engineer it. So the thing that you're starting with when you're creating a listing and when you're thinking about SEO is what will the person that finds this actually search for? So in the future, what are they going to search for? What are their keywords? And those are what you want to include in your title.
Yep.
And we'll get to some of the tools and how you can do some of this stuff. But the idea is to reverse engineer to find what those guys are going to be searching for when they find it. So title is probably the most important thing, but then you also have like bullets, descriptions.
Yep.
Depending on the platform, those things could be ranked differently as far as like what the algorithm favors or how much more important it is. Usually you have more characters with the description, and so you can use more keywords.
Kind of stuff a little bit more in that area.
Yeah. I mean, when you say stuff, I want to just also point out that Google is smart, specific, and so are all these algorithms. So I would hesitate to keyword stuff. In other words, if you are doing something for, you want nurse mug, you're trying to get to that, don't put nurse mug 17 times on your freaking listing. That's not going to help you. You need to figure out what other things that are going to benefit your customer. So what are some other things about this mug that actually will help them make a good decision? So, and then also there's other keywords. Nurse mug would be a really hard keyword to rank for.
Sure.
But there's probably another 25 to 50 keywords that you could potentially go for on a nurse mug that you want to include into that description. So don't keyword stuff, as it were. A couple other things for Shopify. There's a couple other things that you can do specifically for Shopify. If you're doing collections, if you're using collections, that collection should have a description, and that can be keyword optimized again, because those collections actually will rank in Google. Shopify is a little bit different than Amazon, Etsy, simply because you're trying to rank in Google for these things. So that's one of the things, and then image alt tags. So these are when you upload an image to a WordPress site, there's a section for an alt tag, and basically it's describing what that image is. And usually people put keywords in there because, believe it or not, you can rank in the image search for some of your top keywords and get traffic through the Google image section of their search. So don't sleep on your alt tags. And then the last thing is
backlinks, right? Which in all transparency, Travis told me what actual backlinks are today.
I wasn't gonna throw you under the bus.
It's okay.
Man.
I'll throw myself under the bus.
Okay.
I live under the bus sometimes. We're all married. I mean, two of us. Anyway, no. So
not together.
Not together. We're road wives, but that's just a gimmick. That's a moniker. Really, it really is on the roads. Backlinks are stuff on other websites that can bring traffic to your site on Shopify.
Yeah, those backlinks are telling Google what your site is about or what your page is about. So if you're selling a nurse mug and somebody else out there has a Google website or a website that maybe hopefully has some authority in Google, because authority is another thing that basically if you're a brand new website, you don't have any authority.
Right.
But if you're established, you have been around, Google puts a kind of a number on you or whatever. And so the more authority you have, the more power those backlinks have. But if somebody with, some decent authority links to your page and the hyperlink actually says in the text nurse mug, well, that's going to boost your rank or your search rank potential for the words nurse mug. So again, backlinks are very important. They actually can be somewhat important for Amazon and Etsy as well.
Sure.
Because you do have, I mean, there is a URL that is searchable on Google for your product page, as long as it's indexed.
Yeah.
But someone could also link to your Etsy and link to your Amazon, which I don't know if Amazon or Etsy actually gives you kind of a boost in their algorithms based on link juice, but I know Google does.
Yeah.
So someone could be searching for Nurse Mug, find your website on Etsy, or find your listing on Etsy because you ranked high enough because somebody gave you a backlink for it. So it's especially important for Shopify because you're always trying to get organic, aside from, because you're either that or you're going to have to advertise.
Yeah. Because there's no, as we said before, the trade-off with, having your own third-party site, your own independent site with something like a Shopify, is that you're sacrificing that organic traffic that Amazon brings to you because, again, Amazon and Etsy are search engines. And so people want to search for stuff, they're going to see your show or see your show.
Your show.
Oh, my goodness. It's really distracting having two Shih Tzus here. Trying to be like, hey,
I've noticed that.
Be quiet, dude, and stop barking at me. You can't come up here. And then she just lives up by her own set of rules. So, and sometimes they don't like each other and they'll just attack one another. So, like, when they get close, I can always have to, like, sense the vibe. Because if she goes nuclear, then I have to break it up. And I'll probably come away with a flesh wound. But so the trade-off is
they don't give no shits.
They don't.
Get it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I went to a zoo one time.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Denver Zoo, it's really world renowned right over there. But I went to a zoo not too long ago. Hadn't been in a while. I had some family in town. They're like, hey, we're going to go to the zoo. I said, okay, cool. So they took me to the zoo, and there was only one animal at the entire zoo.
What?
There was one dog. That's it. It was a shit zoo. That's a give me. I mean, that's a free one.
That wasn't
that's
even
not,
the weekly dad joke.
It's not. That one's still coming. I just couldn't pass that one up.
That was a
It was
softball.
a great setup. It's just lob. So anyway, the trade-off in having a Shopify site is that you don't get organic traffic.
Right.
And so anything you can do to help rank your site or rank your listings higher is going to be beneficial to you, including backlinks, unless you do want to spend money on advertising. I think we've told the story a handful of times, but my father-in-law at one point was like, hey, we should start a novelty shirt site. And I was like, cool, but why? And how in the world are we going to get traffic to this thing? Because we're a drop in a very, not even a bucket, a vat of novelty shirt sites. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do we separate it? And so that's one way you got to really think about that when you're wanting to launch a Shopify site.
Yeah, I would have strongly recommended against it had he asked my opinion. I did, however, see the final product, and it was a great looking site.
Oh yeah, it was great.
It was, and you had hundreds of products on there.
Oh yeah, it was tons. We had so many assets. It was called T-Scream.
Yeah, it was a great name.
Yeah.
But you had zero traffic.
Yeah, zero. I mean, we honestly didn't even launch it. I had some ideas to what we've talked about, I think, after having the dad joke shirts and talking about doing some like guerrilla marketing, for lack of a better term, but literally going with T-Scream, going out and interviewing people, about, novelty t-shirts, or tell us a dad or a joke, or asking questions, like common knowledge questions. Cause I don't know if you've seen those on TikTok or Instagram, but it's like, hey, who said blah, 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 and they'll guess something completely wrong, and it's really funny.
How many states are in America?
Yeah, like, 54?
37?
Yeah, exactly. and just doing an Instagram page with that kind of content that's funny on the ground, and then we give them a shirt for participating or whatever. Right. That was my idea, to try and generate some kind of traffic, which social media, I mean, that's a way to drive traffic, but you gotta...
Would have taken forever.
Building an audience is... difficult.
Right.
I mean, learned that multiple times, including with this show. You and I have both had conversations about, like, okay, how do we build an audience? Okay, how do we have an audience? How do we make it bigger? How do we, and implementing those things. So the question now is, if you're listening, SEO, what we've answered, what is it, but how do you do it? Right. Right. And what's the main keyword someone would type to get your product? So, I mean...
There's something happening over there. So you need, maybe I should, oh boy. So they have
It's a puppy
dog
pad.
puppy pad. Okay, that's what you call it. And
Hey, no.
and your dog just used it.
Yeah, he did. He just did what he needed to do.
Yep, he did, and he was doing it right there and distracted
Yeah.
you a lot.
It did. Because I knew you were going to see it. So, hey, we're
It's the
live.
first time I've ever seen a dog poop.
It's true. I mean, he looked you in your eyes is the thing. Which means it's a sign of trust when dogs do that. I don't know if you know that. Yeah, yeah. Dogs. That's like they know that you'll keep them safe in their most vulnerable state.
Well, good. I feel accepted.
Yeah. The Shih Tzu looked you in the eyes while he shits. Zoo. Anyway, so there's couple cool paid options, right?
Right.
The first one being keywords everywhere.
Keywords everywhere.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I looked at keywords everywhere probably 2 to 5 years ago.
Sure.
Very cool concept, but check it out. I want to say it's keywordseverywhere.something.com. I can't remember. You know what I mean? It's like one of those weird ones. But if you Google keywords everywhere,
Keywords.com.
not com. The next one is SEMrush. It's more of a kind of an established service for somebody who's really, I mean, it's very, very handy for like bloggers and people that are really, really going after this SEO thing. And then finally, Google Keyword Tool, which is free. You just have to sign up for it. And that basically will get you what people are searching for around your main topics.
Yep.
So, for instance, we keep using nurse mug. So you could put nurse mug in there, and then it would give you a crap ton of other potential things that are being advertised for on the web around that keyword. And then you can use some of those to put in your listings and things like that. That's kind of the free thing. And then for Etsy, you've of course heard of E-Rank or Etsy Rank. And then we actually had, what were you going to say?
E-Rank, isn't that proprietary information?
You stop.
I'm sorry.
And then we've actually had Neil Lassen on the show, and he has a program called Sales Samurai. He has a few different things, but Sales Samurai is specifically a keyword tool for Etsy, and we'll link to that in the show notes. We actually do have an affiliate for that, so if you decide you want to try out Sales Samurai, please go through our link. It'll support the show.
For sure.
But, I mean, that's obviously specifically for Etsy, which is kind of cool because it's pulling information from the channel that you're actually trying to rank from. It's not like Google. So there's a difference between buyer intent keywords and just search intent keywords. So like if I'm like, what's the weather going to be like today? And I type that into Google, I'm not going to buy anything. And so any keywords...
I'm going to buy the weather.
So I'm not looking to buy something. But if I type in funny nurse coffee mug, there's some buyer intent there because I'm looking maybe for my aunt who's a nurse and her birthday's coming up or something like that. So the Google keyword tool doesn't necessarily separate those two things out because it's just looking at Google as a whole. It's not looking at, specific buyer intent. But if somebody searches specifically on Etsy, they're not looking for the weather.
Sure. Yeah.
They're looking for something to buy. They have those keywords that the Etsy tools are giving you, the Sales Samurais of the world are giving you are buyer intent keywords, which are those are the only ones we give a crap about in the print on demand world.
Sure.
Take that with a grain of salt. You can go free and go Google, Google keyword tool and get a lot of cool keywords. And you can, just think through it and sort out what's a buyer intent keyword versus not. Or you can buy a platform specific tool or, subscribe to it or whatever that can help you with those specific channels that you're actually selling on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if you want to know more about E-Rank as well, my wife was on the show a couple years ago or a year or so ago. Yeah. And she kind of talked about her strategy with E-Rank. And what that does is it does kind of the same thing. Kind of lets you know who's searching for what keywords and where there's competition and where there's not competition.
Right.
And what you do with that information, whether you want to lean into something that someone's searching a lot that there's competition for, you can. Or if you want to do people are searching for this, but there's no competition, so I'm going to create something, which I've referenced before. The whole
the
snail with a stack of pancakes as the shell or whatever.
What the crap is that?
She sold a bunch of those, and based off of that data. And so, and it's not proprietary. I was just joking. I didn't mean to be a wolf. I was joking. So we can move on from that. So that's another cool sales tool that you can also look at for keywords. So, and I don't remember the episode that she was on, but we can link it or let you guys know in the Facebook group as well.
Yeah.
So the next thing about listings that is a make or break thing is mockups.
Right.
And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you it will make or break a listing. I don't
100%.
know how many times, from my own personal experience, and think about as you're listening, think back to times that you've seen something that might be a cool design or you're interested in it, but the mockup does not.
It just looks
sketchy. Doesn't translate. It isn't sketchy. It's not great. It's boring. It's not engaging. There's nothing that makes you compelled to click on it further. Because if you have a bad mockup, they'll just scroll right past you.
Right. Yeah.
So there's different platforms and there's different rules on each platform.
Right.
Amazon is only a white background on the main image.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to have, and it has to be a certain proportion of it is white, and then proportion. There's lots of rules, but it's not really that hard to figure out. If you just put the mock-up on a white background, you're pretty safe. But don't stop there, and don't think that you can only do white backgrounds. When people click in, give them a plethora of images with lots of lifestyle, lots of engaging content once they're in your listing.
Yeah, one of the things we do is as we're creating mockups, we'll create a lot of lifestyle images. They're called lifestyle images. It's basically if this beer can was a coffee mug, it would have my design on it, and you'd see my smiling face enjoying my coffee mug. That's called a lifestyle photo. It's your product in a lifestyle environment. Yeah. And so what we'll do is we'll create these lifestyle photos, but then we'll also create that straight up just the thing on a white background, and we'll put that as a number one in our Amazon listing, but then on the Etsy listing we'll use one of the other ones as the main image, and we'll still use that white one. We'll just put it way at the end or something, because you have a lot of images you can use on Etsy. So you can utilize both of those, but the thing that you are trying to accomplish is to create emotion with these photos.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Communicating just subliminally. Right. Oh, wow, that person's enjoying, and you don't even think about it consciously, but because there's a picture of Travis with the coffee mug, smiling, enjoying his coffee, it's this subliminal messaging of oh, okay, there's positive emotions associated with that mug. People are enjoying it. I would enjoy it. And so you're trying to get, like Travis said, an emotional response through these mock-up images, which you might not think about when you're first starting. Mock-ups are kind of okay, well, obviously I have to have a mock-up, and I want to show it up there. I have to show it on there. Obviously, I have to show it. But approach it, if that has been your school of thought up until this point, I would encourage you to kind of think of it differently, and know that you're trying to capitalize and elicit an emotional response that makes them want to click into your listing, and then furthermore, actually purchase the product that you have on the mock-up.
Yeah. So I can't say enough about how important they are. And I think we've kind of maybe
belabored a little bit.
Beaten that horse to death.
Guys, mock-ups are super important.
Yeah. Maybe we didn't beat the horse to death. Maybe we beat it after it was already dead.
Maybe.
We beat the dead horse.
This is weird. If someone clipped just this.
Yeah, that would be, oh man.
Canceled.
Yeah.
For context, we're not talking about an actual horse.
What is it? PETA or?
Yeah, PETA.
Yeah, they would just come after us.
The angry white women.
And not that's so terrible. Nor the fairy tale guy in green that can fly.
Or the guy from Hunger Games.
Yeah, okay. So there we go.
Full circle. I don't know how, but we're here.
Wow, these shows are totally different when it's live.
It really is.
They
weird.
really are. So the next point we're going to talk about is where can we make these amazing mock-ups that we are absolutely, completely have decided are so important to our listings.
Yes, and no horses were injured in the conversation about them either. So how can you do this? Well, obviously you can make your own, right?
Right.
If you have, a camera, if you have some friends that are willing to model these things, if you're willing to...
We have that little light box that we've done some of this in.
Which is come in handy multiple times, at least for stuff that, I'm like, wow, I really need a nice mock-up shot. Oh, I need a light box. So you can have those kinds of tools at your disposal. If you want, like I said, you have some friend that is willing to use the product or hold the mug or wear the t-shirt and actually, get it out and use that, then awesome. That's one way you can definitely do it. Yep. And you can add image layers. They don't even have to actually be wearing the product.
Right, yeah.
They could be wearing a blank t-shirt, and you could use, that same, if you want to maximize your time with your friend or who's willing to model for you, have them wear a blank shirt or hold a blank mug in different scenarios. And then you can just add image layers in Photoshop or Photopea or whatever you want to use to create those mock-ups, and you just have those group of images that you've taken yourself that you can use over and over and over and over again. Yeah,
and obviously your Photoshop expertise is going to come into play. There's smart layers. So obviously on a and we've talked about this before, but like on a mug, that image has to be kind of bent to where it looks natural on a curved surface.
Right.
If you just, for instance, Deco Network, which is one of the tools that we use in our shop, they will not allow for that, and it looks crazy. So dumb.
Yeah,
you have a coffee mug, and then you have this flat thing. Image. It doesn't look real; it looks fake. And so, for these particularly with lifestyle shots, and like you're saying, with a model that's wearing the shirt or holding the coffee mug, if it's a curved thing, you want to work with some of those smart objects.
Yeah.
And if it's a shirt and it has wrinkles, it's the same type of thing. It's just going to look weird if there's a wrinkle right where the image is. It doesn't look correct.
Yeah.
But if you can tweak some of those things, if you have the skills in Photoshop, it's a great option. And you can go to several different places to even download editable, already kind of made for you.
Yep, kind of takes the guesswork, I guess, or just kind of like it takes the necessary Photoshop skills that you have to have and limits them by doing some of the work for you.
Yeah, you still have to have the Photoshop skills,
sure, but
not near as many as creating the actual layers that have the correct shading and all of that stuff. But you can, we've had, what was his name?
That's a great question. I'm going to search it.
Oh my goodness!
Well, so bad.
While you're searching that, I'm going to go on to point 2. Creative Market.
Yeah,
Creative Market is a place you can go. It's I think it's just creativemarket.com. They have all kinds of mockups. You just search mockups, and they'll have PSD. It's Giro.
Yes.
Yeah,
Giro from Vexels.
From Vexels is the other place. You can, if you are a customer with them, which again, we've had them on the show. We have an affiliate link. If you want to check that out, you can download their editable PSDs, and then you just open them up in Photoshop and start editing them. Same thing with Creative Market. You can also buy editable Photoshop files for all kinds of different products on Etsy. Yeah. There's a huge market for that. So there's a lot of these places that you can go if you have Photoshop, if you have some skills, and you want to take the time to do it that way. There's definitely a lot of options
for sure.
for you.
Yeah. And if you're listening, you're like, man, I don't even know what is Photoshop, or I don't have any expertise in Photoshop. There is a really, really great solution that I cannot recommend enough. In fact, I used it this last week in a completely different context from shirts because they have so many cool mock-ups, digital mock-ups for all kinds of stuff. And that's placeit.net. You can do videos, that with people wearing your mock-ups. They have, great lifestyle shots. They've got great transparent background shots where you can even throw that white background on it. For an Amazon, mock-up, they've got stuff that you can use, like I was saying, for a laptop and an iPhone mock-up. I used it for the church that I attend. I did a graphic about the sermon being released on the podcast and on YouTube and plugged those images in, and it did all the work for me. It's got graphics. It's got intro video. I mean, there's so much that it can do above and beyond Mockups. But Mockups is, I mean, if you're looking for a solution where it's literally drag and drop, Placeit.net is 100% my number one recommendation for that kind of interface.
Particularly for a lot of kind of the usual suspects when it comes to print on demand. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that they have every product that Printify offers, you know, or Printful or even Make Your Mark Design. They don't, but they have an exhaustive catalog of kind of the usual suspects, thousands upon thousands. So if you're selling T-shirts, thousands. If you're selling mugs, thousands. And then there's a whole lot of other kind of variations on those. There's hoodies. There's, you know, latte mugs and
hats.
They have hats. They have just so many different things. And they have so many of those, so many different things, if that makes sense. You know? Way more than, and it's a subscription. So you just pay once a month for it.
You can pay per image. It's like, I guess it depends
why
on
would
the
you
image.
ever do that though?
But so if you're like, I just want one or two, onesie, twosie, or you want to try it out, I guess. But I think it's like it's like $7.50 a month if you do the yearly subscription. If it's monthly, it's about 14 and a half, something like that in that area. But I mean, it'll pay for itself, especially if you don't want to go through the hassle of learning how the hell Photoshop works or getting into the Adobe photo world or what have you. It's a great place to start as well.
I use it a lot. I use it often. Our team uses it. We also have one last solution for mockups that wasn't on our script, but I just am remembering it because we use it a lot. It's called Bulk Mockup, and Bulk Mockup is actually a script for Photoshop. So you actually use it in Photoshop, and you can. It basically grabs from a folder the different pieces that it needs, and then it puts them together based on smart objects again. So I mean, there is some technical know-how to use that, but I want to say it's like $50 one-time fee. So it's a pretty cool thing, and you can do like you know, I think the max is like 200 or so at a time. But once, I mean, it just puts the same image or puts the you know, all of your different art links or all of your different art files on the same image, you know, over and over and over again. And then you have a folder with 250, you know, different products, really. So it's a cool tool too. But so those are, I think, to kind of wrap it up. Now, there's other things that are important to a listing, but I think SEO, like the keywords that you are trying to rank for and whatever algorithm you're trying to rank in, and the mock-ups that you are presenting when people actually finally land on that site.
The SEO is like the net that you cast to bring them into your store, and then the mock-up is the thing that convinces them to actually walk in. Right, into your listing or into your brand or into whatever it is that you have going on. So those are probably the top. Like Travis said, there's probably a lot more to this list when it comes to like crucial things about a listing. But this would definitely be some of the top two that we can suggest, if not the top two, that you would want to really spend some time thinking about when you're creating your listings on any platform that you're on. I mean, anything else? I know you talked about wrapping it up a little bit. Do we have anything, an affiliate link with Placeit? Is that a thing? Okay.
We have an affiliate link with Placeit. If you want to check that out, that's I mean, like I say, I've been using it since we started Print on Demand. So it was actually its own site, and then Envato purchased it, which Envato has a whole suite of other tools. They have Envato Elements, which is like all these stock photos that you can use for free if you so we actually have that subscription as well. It's not a subscription. I think that one was a one-time buy for us. And we use it all the time. We download all kinds of stuff. So anyway, Envato, it's now part of the Envato family. Place it. So yes, we do have an affiliate link. It's also, if you go to printondemandcast.com/resources, there's a whole bunch of links there. And just being honest, most of them are affiliate links, but it's things that we have used and think are really freaking cool. And we're going to continue to add to that.
Sure.
We're probably going to categorize it, say, here's some, listing tools, here's some mock-up tools, here's some this, here's some of that. But yeah, we'll be adding to that. But yes.
Yeah, there is.
I've only answered you 7 times now.
So we do have the resources link, and again, the tagline for this show is for this podcast is we make shows that help you make sales, and we want to give you the tools that we've used to make sales in our business and our personal history with print on demand. And so, if you use those sales and you come across the affiliate link, it does 2 things. Obviously, it gives you a new tool for your business, but also helps support the show, support the content, help us keep, this show going and generating the content, because we've said it multiple times. This is a passion project for Travis and I. We're friends that enjoy talking about print on demand and have a passion for the industry. So any support that you guys can give us is greatly, greatly appreciated and reinvested into the show. In equipment, microphones, or going to trade shows.
I'm sure there's a photo somewhere on the interwebs by the time we actually release this that'll show kind of all the different things. We got like 2 laptops, and webcam, a ring light.
Yeah,
and,
it's a really makeshift. I mean, it would be awesome one day to have an actual
studio.
Let's sit down and have a studio and just fire up the power switches, and we're ready to rock and roll. And bring in a producer and all of those things. And one of those things, again, we talked about last week is wanting to make more trade shows to interact with you guys. And we like to travel. It's a good time, right? So we went to Long Beach, or went on a plane and everything like that. But here's the thing, Travis. It's a very polarizing time in our country.
It has been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like everyone's opinion, it's all polarizing. So, chivalry is it dead? Is it not? Is it good to be?
Are you going on
manners? No, okay. Listen. So the thing is, as I thought, we obviously went to Long Beach, right?
Yeah.
On a plane, and we flew, and all the travel involved. I was trying to be polite. There's a woman there who had a lot of luggage, seemed like, and I thought that it was polite to open a door for a lady, right? I thought opening a door for a lady was good manners.
Sure,
right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Well, turns out she just screamed and flew out of the airplane. And that was this week's dad joke. Everyone was like, is he getting political? If you fast forwarded, just rewind, it was a joke. Good Lord, people. Anyway, so that's this week's weekly dad joke. Thank you guys so much for listening and your patience in this particular episode with the various distractions as we're trying to end the dogs and the things. But thank you guys so much for listening. We definitely appreciate your support in any way that you give it to us, whether it is using an affiliate link, whether it is grabbing a shirt over at printondemandcast.com/shop, which Travis is sporting a test t-shirt, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Print on demand multiverse.
We did a test buy and it worked.
Yeah, it worked. So you'll get your shirt, is what we're saying.
The print on demand multiverse. Look at that. Look at that. It's
That's
beautiful.
what we dubbed you guys, the listener, that we have stopped using. So we better start using it more if it's on a freaking shirt. So thank you to all of you in the print on demand multiverse for listening. And like I said, in any way you support the show, it's very, very much appreciated. One way you can do that is subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to. Talk about algorithms. We would love to beat these algorithms on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Anchor or Stitcher or Google or wherever you're listening. Subscribe. Leave us a review about the show. Would definitely help it. And then also share to your social media. Share through text. Share on your Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever you guys want to do. And when you do that, tag us because we are on Facebook and we are on Instagram. You can go to printondemandcast.com/Facebook and printondemandcast.com/Instagram to follow us on those feeds. If you want us, if you were following the show when we recorded this on Instagram, you would have seen I posted the story already, what Travis just talked about. the smorgasbord of electric devices that are lying in front of us at the current moment to make this happen for you guys. You would have seen that. Lots of awesome content coming there. Again, when we travel to trade shows, that's probably going to be the platform that we do a lot of like in the moment stuff and a lot of lives and stuff like that. So we're also on YouTube. You can go to printondemandcast.com/YouTube and subscribe to us there as well. We are in the process of thinking about educational, informational, entertaining, and exclusive content that we can put on our YouTube page that would benefit you guys above and beyond just these episodes.
Yeah.
So that is also in the works as well. So, and then again, anything else that I'm missing? Oh, if you don't like social media, you can email us, info@printondemandcast.com. It comes to us if you have any questions or if you have a topic you'd like to hear about or if you have a point of interest. I tell you what, if you have a point of interest that you think is interesting and you know about it, let us know.
Yeah.
We can probably bring you on the show to talk about it.
Or a guest
Or
suggestion.
a guest suggestion. Yeah, absolutely. We love having guests because it's not that Travis and I don't enjoy this format, because we clearly do. I don't know how long we've been going, but it's obvious that we enjoy this format. But the thing about guests is that it allows us to find experts in fields that we don't necessarily know a lot about and give you information from them to benefit your business. So the more guests we can find, the better. So if you have any of those suggestions, let us know as well. Travis, anything else before we completely wrap this thing up?
No, I think you've, head over to printondemandcast.com and check it out. Check out the new site if you haven't already.
Yeah.
And if you wouldn't mind subscribing, we'll send you a weekly email telling you, hey, the episode's out.
Top of the page.
Yeah.
That.
And then at the bottom of the page, there's going to be a dad joke.
That's right. In your weekly email, there will be a dad joke for you. So if you can't get enough of them, you got 2 in this episode. If you would like a third one in the week, subscribe to the email list. We won't spam you. We'll just bring you endless information and entertainment and joy in your life. We'll be enriching to you all. So until next week, again, thank you guys so much. For Travis, I'm Josiah. We'll see you right here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel on the Print on Demand cast.
See ya.
Hey, babe. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Print on Demand cast. We hope you enjoyed the Totally Tubular Show. If you've got a question or a suggestion for the show, send Travis and Josiah an email at info@printondemandcast.com. Want to be wicked nice? Take a minute to rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe now so you don't miss next week's episode. See you next time, for sure.